Okay, let's do a start bench cut with some of the point guards that didn't make the cut for the NBA PGs list. Okay,
All right.
so we got Kobe White, D'Angelo Russell, and Fred VanVleet. Start bench cut.
I'm starting Kobe White because of the potential that he showed me last year, and I think he's going to continue to grow. And I think he's finally figured it out in the NBA, so I think he'll be better than those two. I'm benching Fred VanVleet because I already know what I'm getting from D'Lo in certain games in the playoffs. In the regular season, he'll be hot for a really good streak and then cold the next.
Yeah.
At least Fred VanVleet's consistent with what he brings, and I know what he's going to do. Plus, he tries harder on defense, too, at his size. So, start Kobe White, bench Fred VanVleet, and cut D'Lo.
Yeah, I'll probably agree with you. I think if
I was gonna say that's the only option.
I was gonna say if it's just regular season, I feel like D'Lo could be started, but the fact that in the playoffs we know he choked, like that's if we're just regular season, D'Lo's had better games than Kobe White last year and than Fred VanVleet, but it's just like we know when the playoffs comes, he folds like a launcher.
Yeah.
So
he's probably still taking up shots right now after the game.
Yeah, post game. So D'Lo's just an interesting player. I feel like regular season he looks like one of borderline top 10 PG. When it hits the playoffs, he looks completely unplayable.
Lost.
Yeah, it's just odd situation. How about this? Darius Garland, Jamal Murray, and let's see who we want to go with the last.
Cut Jamal Murray. That's it.
Just got paid too. Crazy.
Take his money.
Let's do
paid $200 million and no All-Star appearances.
Jamal Murray, Darius Garland, and Cade Cunningham.
Damn. I'm probably going to start Jamal Murray because he's actually good in the playoffs, and that's when he shows up. And I take that into account a lot, so he'd be starting for me. I bench Cade Cunningham because I believe in Cade. I think his potential is the roof, and I think he has the most potential out of all three of them.
I think it's actually a good one.
And I'll bench Garland because defense-wise, he's not going to cut it. He's too small.
Wait, you're cutting Garland or benching it?
Cutting. I'm benching Cade, and I'll start Jamal.
I think I feel like Darius Garland, like he had a down year last year, but what he showed in that All-Star season, I feel like he can be better than somebody like a Jamal Murray. I feel like Jamal Murray's never been an All-Star, probably never will be.
Yeah.
I feel like he's one of the more overrated players in the league. We talked about that a little one of these episodes.
One chip.
So I feel like I don't know. This is difficult because Cade Cunningham has the most potential easily here, but we just haven't seen enough from him. I feel like Darius Garland is better than Jamal Murray overall, but Jamal Murray just has the playoff success. But I also feel like if Darius Garland was on the Nuggets, he could fill a similar role. Yeah, he's a little smaller on the defensive side, it's a little tougher, but he's a much better playmaker than Jamal Murray in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like
so we're cutting Garland or
no, I'm not cutting Garland. I'd cut Jamal Murray out of those three, but I just don't know if I'd start Cade or Darius because of like the potential.
I feel like Jamal impacts winning more because of his playmaking, not playmaking, his style of like basketball or scoring, his style of scoring. So like he'll fit with a lot of players more than Darius Garland. Yes, Darius Garland's a playmaker.
I think Darius Garland could do what Jamal did. I mean, he's a really good shooter too.
He doesn't fit the same way though, like with the pick and roll, like just coming off the screen and taking a shot.
I think
he doesn't score at the same level.
I think he could do. He's just as good of a shooter. Yeah, maybe not as
better
like
at like
pull
mid-range. Yeah, mid-range pull up.
I think he could do the other stuff. I think
his floater's not as good.
He'd also be a much better secondary playmaker. Like when Jokic is on the court, I feel like the offense would be way better if they're like when they have Darius Garland like running the show as opposed to Jamal Murray.
I feel like it's better if you have just one playmaker and then another scorer for that type of offense, in my opinion.
All right, so I agree with a lot of things you guys said.
Exciting factor.
But I'm starting Cade.
Because of potential?
Yeah, I feel like although, he is like the rustiest and the youngest of all of them, he averaged 20, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I know it was a bad team, but he's the only one on this list who can actually be a 1.
Yeah.
And who is a 1. Like, he's the only one on this list who even is a 1. I think that Jamal, in that situation, wouldn't be as good.
He's playing with the best player in the world. So.
Yeah, he's playing with Jokic, and it definitely does take a lot of stress off of you. Darius Garland, I love. But I do think he is a defensive liability, but I do think he'll also get better on offense. He's like one of the shiftiest guards in the league. I love watching him play just in general. Like his game itself is beautiful. And I think that he has the potential to improve his stats even more. I think Jamal is kind of like where he'll be for the remainder. You know what I mean? Like I don't think Jamal is going to get much better over the course of his career. I know he's young, which is kind of crazy to say, but this is his style of play. Like I think he's kind of capped. Yeah,
he's not like an elite athlete in terms of
like,
shiftiness or athleticism, like vertical ability, quickness. I feel like at least Darius Garland got the shiftiness and the quickness.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, that's fair.
But I do think Cade like averaging 20 and then average like 7, like what was it, like 7 to 7 or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's just talent and stuff you can't really teach. Yeah, like so.
Yeah,
I would start Cade.
I think Cade. Yeah, I probably would too. Between him and Garland, obviously I'd bench Garland in that situation. Yeah. I just think Cade. If you watch some of the tape that the Detroit Pistons put out last year, it wasn't pretty, and a lot of it was due to a lack of space in Cade Cunningham. Every time he took one step inside the key, it's like 5 jerseys surrounding him.
Yeah, like I think in a better offense and a better.
And they traded Bogdanovich mid-season. That's why it made it even worse.
His only decent player. So yeah, I feel like if Cade was on like a better situation. In a better situation, I feel like he
would show more.
Yeah, he would probably have better stats, and then just like the narrative around him would just be greatly improved because he'd probably be winning some more games.
Yeah.
So I have another point guard.
What about you, Gabe? You didn't. You were
was it Jamal Murray, Cade Cunningham, and Darius Garland?
Yeah. Start bench cut.
We're waiting on you because we couldn't end the pod.
It's hard. You guys made some good points about the Cade Cunningham thing, the Garland thing, the Murray thing. I think. From what I've seen this person do at elite level at an elite time, I'd have to start Jamal Murray. And off of ceiling, I would have to bench Cade Cunningham and cut Darius Garland. I like Cade more than Garland, but from what I've seen from Jamal Murray, from what he's done in the playoffs, the one season, I have to give it to him.
30 points per game.
I don't give a fuck about him.
I don't even know if these people are going to get in that position to do that type of thing, to average 30 in the playoffs.
I just feel like
to drop 30 against the
we talked about this before. Like, if there was another, like, a lot of players could have been put in the Jamal Murray role and still succeeded the same way. And I feel like Darius Garland is one of those players.
I don't know.
I agree with Ben.
Average 30 in the postseason? I don't know.
In that situation, maybe, next to Jokic?
Maybe Darius Garland is a little too low for your guys' opinion, but we did agree on the fact that
some
a lot
people
of players could step into the role.
A lot of players could.
Tyler Hero.
Yeah, that's what you said, right? So